Artfight season, everyone! It is finally time! And by the way, at the time of recording this video, it has already been about a week of Artfight, but I just wanted to recap week number 1 since it was so super amazing, and that was thanks to all of you guys. So, first of all, starting off with my attacks. In the first week, I managed to make 15 attacks, which I thought was a pretty good number until I looked at my battle ratio, but that's okay. So let's start with the very first one that I ever completely did, which was a crayon drawing. The character in this drawing is named Aqualore, and they are made by Creppy Sleppy. Hi, if you're watching. I had a really fun time making this piece because I almost never get to draw with crayons, and even though you can't reach the same level of sophisticated rendering with a crayon, I just really got to let loose, and as my first attack, I think this was a great way to start off the season. I also had fun trying to figure out how to blend and add values with the limited amount of crayons that I had. And overall, although there's definitely some things that I would change, I think that I am pretty happy with this first attack. Next up is a really fun format of a calculator painted attack for the character Zoe by Ali Fleur. Zoe is a math major, and I took that and ran with it by customizing my old calculator from high school that I have absolutely no use for anymore, and I don't regret it a single bit because I felt like I gave it a lot more life than I ever gave it when I was using it on tests to earn me a score of maybe a D if I was lucky. I used acrylic paint pens to paint this, and I think it actually turned out so adorable that I considered typing in a couple numbers myself. Next on the list was this cute furry badge for Cilantro made by Heavy Dirty Sil. I fell in love with the design immediately. I usually don't draw furry, so this was a really good experiment for me, and I think it turned out pretty well. And this was also following the same train of using my acrylic pens because I had them out on the table, and I was like, you know what, I'm feeling traditional art today, so this was made in my sketchbook, and then I went ahead and scanned it and printed her out. So once we printed it out, I decided that I wanted to laminate it and hole punch it and such, but I don't have a laminating machine. Like, you know what? This is either going to be a genius idea or possibly the worst thing that I have done in my entire career yet, and my house will burn down. It worked suspiciously well. Like, of course it did warp a little bit, but for the most part, I was very impressed that that technique actually paid off. Next up, moving into the digital art realm, we drew Silas by Popcornu, and of course, Silas, being an Animal Jam OC, meant only one thing to me. This had to be done in the Animal Jam art studio, and not just any Animal Jam art studio, the Animal Jam classic one, the OG, the one that taught me how to draw. Yeah, we were heading back to our roots for this drawing, and I had so much fun. I need to get back onto the Animal Jam art grind because literally, this was one of the most enjoyable pieces that I have made in all of Artfight so far, and half of that was because of the Animal Jam Studio and the limited color palette. Unfortunately, I forgot to record these next two, but this drawing is Nyx by Mitosis Toes and CC by HE6RT_. Next, we have this super cute OC named Xenia by Candy Bun, and forgive me if I pronounced that wrong, but I just saw this design and the super fun colors, and I was like, you know what, we're pulling out Nightcore, we're listening to Nightcore, and we are drawing this design because it is so fun and silly. And I think she turned out super cute too. This super cute gif of Kawaii for last one was really fun to make too, and it gave me an excuse to draw Pokemon, specifically Esper, in this super cute tiny little form. So basically their character sleeps a lot. I think it says that she sleeps 20 hours of the day, so I decided that her little Pokemon companion would wake up before her and start jumping on the bed. And yay, it worked! Now, something changed in me with this drawing of Dahlia for Celestial Catharsis, because I don't know why, but my art style basically completely changed. I was locked in at this point, and I was like, you know what, yeah, we're gonna try like a whole new art style, a whole new color palette, a whole new composition, all in one piece, bam, 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 and I think it worked out wonderfully. I definitely did take a lot of inspiration from Art Nouveau specifically for this, and you know, once I got into these longer pieces, I was like, you know what, wait, maybe this is the whole point. Maybe in Artfight, I should try and focus specifically on improving something in each of my pieces. So going forward after this point, every single attack that I've done, I have tried to focus on improving in at least one thing within all of my drawings. In this drawing of Maya for Wet Puddles, I decided that now that I had taken a lot of inspiration and my art style was kind of in limbo, I wanted to go for almost the exact opposite aesthetic of the last piece. So the last piece was Art Nouveau inspired, whatever. This one, I wanted to do like a whole fun Y2K Gyaru style one, and this was the perfect character for it. Originally, I was going to go with a more magazine covery vibe, but my graphic design wasn't graphic designing in this one, and I kind of liked the drawing without the text better in the end, so that's what we ended up with, but I still think this came out super freaking adorable. And my personal favorite part about the whole creation process of this piece was getting to do her makeup. This drawing of Isalt for Isalt in their anthro form was really fun to make, and I did make it on 4th of July, if you couldn't tell. USA, I don't know. I'm not one of those people, but there were lots of fireflies out when I was outside, so I was like, I got inspired by that, and I was like, I want to make a piece that has this character looking at fireflies. And I also had been drawing people for a while, so in order to not burn out, I decided that it was time to do another anthro/furry drawing, so this is what we ended up with. Next up was this super fun drawing of Kai for Shadow Brilliant Arts 423, and I also drew this on the 4th of July. I was drawing this actively while at a family party, so yeah, this whole thing was done while I was evading talking to distant relatives. Now, if you know me, I use pretty muted tones in most of my art, and I never ever have experimented with skin tones that don't exist in the real world. So I decided for this one, not only am I gonna make a character that has green skin, but also I'm gonna make it vibrant because I don't want to mute someone else's colors if they have a very vibrant themed character in their reference sheet. So that was a huge experiment for me, and I think it paid off pretty well. I'm so happy with how this piece turned out. I love the rendering, and honestly, it was really fun to make too, especially finding the image for the shirt. As clunky as some of that lip syncing was, I had so much fun making this attack. I never ever experiment with animation. I've done it like maybe 4 or 5 times, and I just saw these characters, I saw the creator like Crane Wives, and I got inspired. So I locked in for this attack, which so far has given me the most points out of any attack. And the main thing that I did, which unfortunately I didn't have recorded, so I just have the speed paint playing right now, is I made all of the backgrounds on actual watercolor paper. Like, I hand painted all the backgrounds and then did the lighting effects in CapCut and Procreate. So that was a super duper fun process, and overall, although there's lots to improve, I think that this turned out so cool, and I personally am obsessed and have watched it multiple times. For these last 2 drawings, I actually drew them on stream, so if you want to watch the live stream, I have the whole VOD linked in the description. They were on 2 separate streams, but all of your viewing minutes really help out the channel, and even if you can't support me financially, you can support me by watching more of my videos. I really do appreciate it, and it does add up, so thank you so much for watching my week 1 Artfight video, and I will see y'all again soon, maybe on the battleground.